Hey, everyone, this is Madeline. She is the newly elected SGA president. Congrats on getting that position. That's awesome. Are you excited?
Hey, yes, I'm very excited. Very, very excited.
Oh, that's awesome. How are you adjusting to some of the changes that were implemented by the state and then at Florida Southern due to the coronavirus concerns?
Yeah, so I mean, I know how much it has affected everyone, and it has affected me, just as far as like my academic studies go, and obviously the election being smack dab and all of this craziness. But I feel like I've been able to adjust pretty well. The end of the semester did end kind of abruptly, but I'm really excited to get back whenever we can go back on campus and to kind of get the ball rolling then. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. How did you prepare for your presidential campaign, and did the coronas impact your campaign in any way?
Right. So I would definitely say I was definitely preparing, prior to all of the coronavirus, kind of news kind of affecting everything. I have had my platform for a while now, and I've just been kind of working to just kind of diligently make sure that I'm as prepared as I possibly could have been, or I did prepare as much as I possibly could have, and obviously, like all of my strategy had to play, had to completely change, because obviously all of the campaigning was with social media, which is so different. I prefer face to face interaction way more. So I would say that definitely was probably the biggest hurdle that I had to face as far as my campaign went. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it definitely changes things. What other leadership positions have you held at Florida Southern, and how do you think these helped you to prepare to take on the role of president?
Okay, so I have been very fortunate, to have a kind of a good range of my leadership, involvement. I've been able to learn a lot. As far as student government goes, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, fine. No,
I've like
please. Oh my
literally been
gosh.
trying,
No, don't worry about it,
oh God.
please. You're good.
Uh, so um, I um, I in student government, I basically first got involved, and it was kind of on the whim kind of decision. I was involved in student government in high school, and I, was very involved in leadership positions then, but I didn't know if I wanted to translate that to college or not. But I did make the decision to run for first year senator, and I was able to serve then as a senator my freshman year. My sophomore year, I was able to serve as Vice President of Communications on the SGA Exec Board, and then currently I'm the Administrative Vice President for SGA. So basically, my role this year has been to chair the Senate. So I'm responsible for overseeing our fall and spring senator elections, and those are both super great this year. We had great turnout, as well as overseeing cabinet, which is responsible for having representatives from our committees within Senate, which are service, sustainability, spirit, and student life. As far as my other positions on campus, my sorority Alpha Delta Pi, I served on the executive board as panelite delegate, and I also just recently finished up my position as the public relations chair, social media chair, and I'm involved in ODK and Lambda Pi Eta and Phi Eta Sigma. So I've been able to see a lot of different leadership qualities in my peers and my friends, and that's like the coolest thing about Florida Southern is it's not really like hard to get in contact with your mentors, and I would consider like you know the people that are that are going before me in these positions obviously have inspired me to take on a position like president. I there is a you definitely have to want it, and I knew that I would be able to um, promise to the student body that I would serve to the best of my ability. And I was definitely inspired by my peers and my friends.
That's awesome. How do you do it all? It seems like you're involved in like every club across campus. How do you like stay organized? How do you manage your time?
So definitely time management and understanding there's a time for, you know, personal relationships and professional relationships. And I would dare to say mine mostly overlap. And so I think that's been my biggest like thing that I've learned from college is it's okay to have, personal and professional relationships that are, productive and each person in the relationship is cooperating. And I think it's really special for the Southern to have. I mean, it seems like everybody is so involved, and it's really hard not to get involved. So I would say, it's just kind of like there's ups, there's downs, and you just kind of have to, it's like give and take, So I definitely try to be as flexible as I can be as far as, being understanding of my involvement and maybe saying no to some things that I would normally want to go to or something like that.
Oh, awesome. What are some things you think that SGA did well over this past year?
Well, this year was really, um, I've been thinking about this a lot because as we move forward, it's important that we're not just starting over, clean slate. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. And, we just can pick up where we left off. And I feel like we were in a really great place. There are so many wonderful initiatives as far as sustainability is concerned. And, there's a new shuttle system that has been completely revamped and providing education to students about that shuttle and how that can, play out in their day-to-day, academic lives. There's a lot of different things that we've been able to approach and work on. I would say the biggest one for me is our relationship with upper administration that I'm the most proud of as far as student government is concerned. I feel like it was just an honor to be able to chair the Senate, and I was so pleased with the senators initiative and passion behind what they were doing. It wasn't just like a line on your resume, which was super fulfilling, for me, because it felt like, okay, we can do this and we can get some work done. And it wasn't like I had to, any of us, the exec board, had to push anyone to do something. It was always, what can I help with? Where can I go? Who can I talk to? It was really encouraging.
That's awesome. It sounds like SGA really did a lot to like listen to students' input and just really like put the students' needs first. It's really great. What do you think that SGA could have improved on maybe this past year?
Yeah, so we definitely had a few situations where um, it was kind of like a rare occurrence as far as, um, elections or even, with the coronavirus stuff. It was kind of like, not that we were playing, like we weren't a few steps ahead. I feel like we just maybe weren't as prepared. And, with something like coronavirus, you obviously can't anticipate that
Right.
happening. But moving forward, how can we anticipate something that affects the rest of the semester, that affects, events and things that you have planned, and just kind of taking those into account and just kind of preparing not for the worst but preparing for the least likely. So I think that's something that we can definitely improve on. And honestly, having this time, it allows us to reflect, and strategize, moving forward, as far as making sure that we're being very clear with the student body as far as what is happening, and doing our best to facilitate that conversation.
Oh, for sure. What is the first thing you want to do as president?
You know, I want to make sure that our current seniors are, and this has been really heavy on my heart just because, my friends aren't getting the opportunity to celebrate. They've spent, countless years in an education system, and this is, prime time for them. And it's obviously everybody's in the same boat all across the world. So it's not like it's just us. But with that being said, I definitely want to do something that makes the seniors feel special. And we are working on a few things right now. And so that's top priority for me currently, because moving forward, obviously it's pretty unclear as far as dates and things like that. But kind of like making a rough draft of like, what can we do for the seniors, and how can SGA help out with, making sure that they feel special. So
Oh, that's awesome. I love that you want to do that because I know I was really sad. I felt so bad for the seniors. They missed like so much time. At least like as juniors, we get to come back and see our friends again. But people are from out of state and stuff like that. They may not get to. So
right,
that's awesome.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, difficult.
for sure. So the coronavirus may or may not be gone or somewhat eliminated by the time the 2020-2021 academic year starts. How will you respond to this as president if this is the case?
Yeah, so that's kind of something that we're working with as far as upper administration and CSI is concerned. I think everybody has the same goal going forward. When can we get the students back on campus healthy, as soon as we can? And obviously, there's a lot of uncertainty regarding that situation. But I guess moving forward is just keeping a positive attitude. That's at the top of my checklist as far as like mentally, I need to be prepared for the best and the worst circumstances, and can we um, how can we translate that to the student body to make sure that we are, the Florida Southern wouldn't be Florida Southern without the students, and it would be naive to think that it would. So, but at the end of the day, health is number one priority. So it's just kind of have to be kind of like I said earlier, a give and take situation. We'll do what we can in the meantime and try to be proactive. But a lot of it is out of our hands. So trying to navigate that as responsibly as we can.
Yeah, for sure. What are some incentives that you hope to continue over this next year?
Okay, so my predecessor, Arjit, really, really fabulous idea as far as the card is concerned. And I know that a lot of students are very excited about that. While we haven't been able to discount card yet, obviously because we're not on campus, that is definitely an initiative that we are going to continue. And we have a lot of really exciting initiatives that we maybe didn't get to see play out, spring semester, as far as spirit, sustainability, service, and spirit life goes. But we're going to keep those at the forefront. And I'm lucky. I'm aware what those initiatives were, and we can just put it on the docket for next semester. And while we have some extra time, how can we improve and make those initiatives better for the student body and for the Florida Southern community?
Yeah, that's awesome. And then the last question I have for you is, what are you most excited about?
I'm most excited to serve and lead with my new exec board. I'm so excited for Kate, Lexi, Nolan, and Blake. I think we're going to be a really fun group. I'm really looking forward to that. And I've always had a great time with all of the exec boards I've served on as far as student government goes. And so I'm just looking forward to kind of fostering those relationships, especially even though we're not even, usually create those relationships at the end of the spring semester before the new year, but we have to figure out how to do that virtually. So I'm really looking forward to serving with them. And I'm very hopeful and very optimistic that this is going to be a wonderful year. And I sincerely believe Florida Southern is going to come back stronger than ever.
Well, that's awesome. I'm so excited for all of you guys. Congrats again on becoming president. That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Abby,
Thank you.
of course.
Is there anything else at all you'd like to add?
No, just stay safe and healthy and wash your hands.
Oh, yeah, for
Thank
sure.
you,
Thank you
Abby.
so much. Thank you.
Awesome.
See ya.
I will talk to you later. Bye, Abby.
Bye.